Explanation of the book, The Psychology of Money. Morgan Housel, Introduction to the book. The Psychology of Money is one of the most important books that deals with the relationship between money and human behavior. It is not a traditional book about investing or saving, but rather explores how emotions, personal experiences, and beliefs affect our financial decisions. The author Morgan Housel emphasizes that financial success is not just a matter of economic intelligence, but is essentially human behavior. The way we deal with money is influenced by our past, emotions, and life experiences, not just by knowledge or logical analysis of numbers. The book consists of 19 chapters, each of which focuses on a specific lesson about money, investing, and making financial decisions. Here we will analyze these chapters in depth and extract the most important ideas and lessons learned from them. Lessons learned from the book, The Psychology of Money. Wealth is not what you see, but what you don't see. Many people think that the rich are those who own luxury cars, huge houses, and expensive watches. But the truth is that these things do not mean that the person is rich, but rather that he spent a lot of money. Real wealth is not in appearances, but in the money that has not yet been spent. A person who lives an ordinary life but saves and invests wisely is often richer than a person who spends his money on luxuries. The lesson here: do not judge wealth by appearances. Real wealth is the money you can use in the future, not the things you have today. Behavior is more important than knowledge in achieving financial success. Some people think that financial success depends on having economic knowledge, but the truth is that success depends on the right financial behavior. Even if you are a genius in mathematics and understand all the investment theories, it will not help you if you make rash financial decisions due to greed or fear. The lesson here: you don't need to be a financial expert to succeed. You just need to have good financial habits, such as regular savings, controlling emotions, and making long-term decisions. The power of compound interest. How can a small amount become a fortune? Compound interest is one of the most powerful concepts in money, and it simply means that your money grows over time due to the accumulation of profits on previous profits. A practical example: if you invest $100 a month with a 10% annual return, you will become a millionaire in about 40 years, even if your initial investment is very small. Well, if you start investing 10 years later, you will need to invest many times the amount to reach the same result. The lesson here: the earlier you start investing, the more you will gain over time. The key is time and patience. Luck and risk. How do they affect wealth? Financial success is not always due to hard work or intelligence alone, but there is a large element of luck and risk. There are people who have made fortunes because they were in the right place at the right time, while there are others who have failed despite doing everything right. Example from the book: Bill Gates succeeded because he had access to the first computer in high school when he was a child, which was rare at the time. But there are other smart people who did not have the same opportunity, so they did not achieve the same success. The lesson here: do not judge your success or failure based solely on your effort, because there are always external factors that affect the results. 5. Don't try to beat the market. Invest slowly and smartly. Many people try to make quick profits by speculating in stocks or digital currencies, but studies have shown that long-term investment is more successful and stable. The lesson here: do not try to get rich quickly, but focus on regular and continuous investment, even if it is slow. 6. Don't compare yourself to others financially. In the age of social media, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison. We see people living luxurious lives, and it makes us feel like we're not successful. But what we don't see is the debt these people may be drowning in, or the challenges they face. Lesson here: compare yourself only to yourself. Don't make financial decisions based on other people's lives, but on your own goals and circumstances. 7. Save not just for the things you want, but for financial freedom. Some people save money just to buy a house or a car, but the real idea behind saving is to achieve financial freedom. Financial freedom means that you don't have to work in a job you hate just because you need money. Lesson here: don't save just for purchases, but for the ability to make financial decisions without pressure or coercion. The future is unpredictable. Plan, but be flexible. No one can accurately predict what will happen in the future. So it is important to have a flexible financial plan that allows you to adapt to unexpected circumstances. Having a financial emergency fund helps you get through crises without having to sell your assets or fall into debt. The lesson here: always be prepared for the worst-case scenario, even if you are optimistic about the future. How can you apply these lessons to your life? Start investing early, even with small amounts. Stop comparing your financial situation to others. Don't make financial decisions based on emotions, such as fear or greed. Have a flexible financial plan that accommodates crises. Set a goal to achieve financial freedom, not just buy luxury items. Don't try to get rich quick, but focus on long-term strategies. Is the book worth reading? Absolutely. The Psychology of Money is not just a book about investing. It's a book that changes the way you think about money and life. If you want to improve your relationship with money and make smarter financial decisions, this book is a great reference worth reading. Would you consider reading the book after this summary? What lesson caught your attention the most? Examples from the book, The Psychology of Money. The book provides many real-life examples that illustrate how psychology and human behavior affect financial decisions. Here are some stories and lessons learned from them. The story of Ronald Read, the unexpectedly rich man. Ronald Read was a simple man who worked as a security guard and a gas station attendant. He did not have a higher education and his salary was not high. But when he died in 2014, people discovered that he had left behind a fortune estimated at $8 million. He lived a modest life and showed no signs of wealth. However, he constantly saved part of his salary and invested it in stocks for long periods, which made him build his wealth over time. The lesson learned from this story is that wealth does not depend only on the amount of money you earn, but on how you manage and invest it wisely. The story of Richard Fuskin, the financial expert who went bankrupt. Richard Fuskin was a successful investment banker on Wall Street. He lived a luxurious life and owned mansions, luxury cars, and private jets. Although he had a high income, he was spending more than he earned and had no financial security margin. When the financial crisis hit in 2008, he found himself unable to pay his debts and was forced to declare bankruptcy. The lesson from this story is that high income does not mean financial security if there is no proper money management and emergency savings. Bill Gates and his unlucky classmate. In the 1970s, Bill Gates was one of the few who had the rare opportunity to access a computer in his high school, which later helped him found Microsoft. In the same school, there was another student named Kent Evans, who was as smart and hardworking as Bill Gates. Unfortunately, he died in an accident when he was young, and he did not get the opportunity that Gates did. This story shows that success is not always the result of effort alone, but there is a factor of luck that cannot be ignored. Therefore, we should not compare ourselves to others unfairly because the circumstances may be completely different. Warren Buffett. How did he build his fortune? Warren Buffett, one of the richest investors in the world, did not become rich only because of his investment intelligence, but because he started investing at the age of 11 and continued to do so for more than 70 years. If he had started investing later, he would not have been able to achieve the same financial success because compound interest takes a long time to show its results. The lesson learned here is that the biggest financial advantage that can be possessed is time. The earlier a person starts investing, the greater his chances of success. The financial collapse due to overconfidence in the market. Before the global financial crisis in 2008, there was a widespread belief that the real estate market would never collapse. Banks began to offer mortgages without restrictions, and people began to buy homes even if they could not afford them, because they believed that prices would always rise. But when the real estate market collapsed, many companies went bankrupt, and millions of people lost their money and savings. This story teaches us that excessive optimism, without thinking about the risks, can lead to financial disasters. Why do most lottery winners lose their money quickly? Studies show that 70% of lottery winners lose their money within just a few years. The reason for this is that they did not learn how to manage money, so they spent it without planning, which led to their bankruptcy quickly. The lesson learned is that managing money is more important than making money. Even if a person gets a lot of wealth, he may lose it if he does not have disciplined financial behavior. Why do the rich invest more carefully than the poor? Contrary to what some believe, the rich do not risk their money randomly, but rather look for safe and stable investments. For example, Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, despite their enormous wealth, do not put all their money in high-risk investments, but rather are keen to diversify their investments and protect them from fluctuations. This story shows that thinking about how to protect wealth is no less important than thinking about how to increase it. Final conclusion. You don't need a high income to become rich, but you do need good financial management. Start investing early and let compound interest work for you. Don't spend money just to impress others. Save to achieve financial security. Don't compare yourself to others because financial success depends on many factors, including luck and personal circumstances. When everyone is very optimistic about the market, be careful because financial crises often occur after periods of excessive optimism. Money management is more important than making money, and if you don't have a disciplined financial behavior, you may lose your money no matter how much it is.